Now we're going to pivot. We're about to talk about your favorite thing. Janine, are you ready to talk about revenue and money?
Revenue and money, my favorite thing. Yes.
All right, my first question is when have you left money on the table in your business and what did you do to fix it? Welcome to Inspiration Contagion, where we spread inspiration one story at a time. I am your host, Holly Jean Jackson. Each interview spotlights transformational business leaders, their stories, challenges, and advice for how you too can lead yourself and others through inspiration. Learn how you too can achieve peak performance, build more revenue, and lead the legacy you were meant to lead. Welcome back to Inspiration Contagion. This week we are on episode 104 and we have a guest who can make your financial worries disappear faster than a bad haircut. She is the founder of JP Tax Service and Accounting with over 30 years as a hairstylist and a decade spent transforming the financial lives of over more than 2,000 self-employed individuals. Her superpower is turning financial nightmares into dreams come true for business owners in the beauty industry. From untangling taxes to fixing credit, covering bills to planning for retirement, she's got you covered. She teaches the tricks of the trade to organize expenses, calculate profits, and set up retirement plans so you can stop stressing about money and start enjoying your business. Are you ready to learn how to snip away your financial fears? Let's welcome the fabulous Janine Jennings. Welcome.
Wow. Well, thank you. That is such a lovely introduction. Wow.
Yeah, fun stuff, right? I
That
love
is so.
it. What makes you, let's start off with just asking you, you had a big transition. What would you say makes you such an inspirational leader, or what's your secret sauce?
What makes me an inspirational leader is the sheer fact that I've been in someone's shoes before. And I know what it's like to be frustrated about money, be frustrated about how to make ends meet, be frustrated about how to provide for your family, kids, husband. Well, I mean, they're supposed to provide for us, but still, you're still supposed to provide womanly things as well, too. You have duties as a woman. And I just know what it's like and I know what it takes to get over that hurdle that a lot of people are stuck at.
Yeah, awesome. Well, you're in the right place. We love talking about revenue. We love talking about peak performance, and we love talking about inspirational solutions for that. So, on that note, what does inspiration mean to you, Janine?
Inspiration means to me how you can be motivated and then execute on the motivation. Um, in the simplest of terms, I guess. I
Okay.
don't know
Do you have a story perhaps related to how you define inspiration?
how I define it. Um, just seeing somebody overcome an obstacle that an obvious obstacle that you would think that they wouldn't be able to perform or move to a next level. Meaning, just what comes to mind is just a simple. I was posting content on Instagram, and you know that I'm a hairstylist, and I saw this woman. She had no arms, and she was doing hair with just her legs, and I'm like, whoa! If she can do it, I can do it. I know I'm already doing it, but I have no complaints whatsoever of, oh, my shoulder hurts or, little um, things that go along with doing hair. So she inspired me like, okay, well, I can't complain about anything now. because she's
Yeah.
doing it. And her hairstyle came out very nice. I'm like, oh my gosh. She learned how to um, move past having arms and still got what her passion, she still was able to get it done.
Yeah.
So that's just what came to mind.
Yeah, it's a great reminder that tapping into and tuning into gratitude and how good we have it and seeing other folks overcome things that are extreme challenges, like you just shared, and how we can too do the same. And perhaps our challenge may seem quote unquote smaller, but for us in that moment, it feels like a big thing or obstacle to overcome. So we're going to shift a little bit and talk about peak performance. So I'd love to hear how do you define peak? I can't speak today. How do you define peak performance, and how did you arrive at this definition?
I define peak performance by someone being able to execute on their KPIs or and effectively, and being able to correct their mistakes when they see it immediately. Because mistakes are going to happen, things are going to happen. That's in any business, every industry. It doesn't matter. But if you're able to correct it so things keep rolling, then that's peak performance. And then being able to go above what you set your goal of, or whatever your goal is, to go above and repeat that same cycle.
Yeah. And for folks who are tuning in, if you're not familiar with KPIs, it's key performance indicators. And for a lot of the business owners out there that are listening or entrepreneurs, and you're contemplating hiring that first person or that next person, it's really important before you make that investment to give them a clear roadmap and structure. And that includes a job description, key performance indicators, impact filters, things of that nature. And for them to be set up for success so that they can achieve peak performance, we have to define for them what we mean by that. And so
Right.
part of being a great leader is being able to express that. And as Janine defined for her, peak performance is being able to hit your KPIs, go above and hit those stretch goals and do that effectively, but also own up for your mistakes and grow and learn from them. Super important. Now, I'm sure along the way of reaching peak performance in your business, you ran into some challenges and obstacles. What were some of those challenges and obstacles you faced?
In which industry? The hair industry or the tax industry?
I will let you choose.
Let's see. We'll start with hair. In the hair industry, obstacles are just being a solopreneur in the beginning, which everyone is. Just having to handle time management of answering people's phone calls, of wanting appointments, scheduling the appointments, making sure your schedule is confirmed, the appointments are confirmed, making sure you're intentional in at the appointment during the service, because hairstylists are underpaid psychiatrists anyway. So we hear every and all things, and we solve all kinds of problems. We can solve world hunger in an appointment and a haircut. Okay. Um, so just that obstacle, and then having enough time between appointments to making sure the appointment that you set is actually doesn't run over, because sometimes people want a little added service that they didn't book for, and making sure you respect the person behind them, so they can get in on time and get out on time too.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned that hairstylists are underpaid psychologists. I believe that's kind of the case for almost anybody in the service industry. It could be consultants, it could be coaches, it could be a plumber, it could be really anything. If you are working with customers face to face, and in particular, if you're providing a service, you are typically also providing some emotional, psychological support, whether you know it or not, even bartenders, right?
Oh,
So,
definitely pretenders.
yeah, so it's really important that you have some emotional intelligence and that you're able to create a safe and sacred container for your clients so that they want to come back and they trust you, they like you, and
Right.
they're providing an excellent customer experience. And like Janine mentioned as well, part of that is being able to juggle multiple things and manage your time efficiently.
Yeah.
There's nothing more disrespectful than showing up late for something, not communicating clearly, bumping into the next call, and then you're behind for the whole day, and then everybody's frustrated.
Right.
So, really, really important challenges to learn how to overcome and have backup plans for.
Right.
Yeah. So, how do you create a culture of peak performance in your company? I know it's not just you alone anymore. So, how are you creating that peak performance culture?
I create that by communication and making sure that what I'm delegating is understood, and making sure that the team knows that most mistakes are fixable. So don't worry about if you didn't do it right. I mean, once you press send on a return, then that's a different story. But everything else before that, pre that, everything, you can catch it. You make a mistake, you just um, be aware of it and let someone know that a mistake was made, and it can be fixed. So don't be worried about. We learn from our mistakes. We learn from them, and that's how you get good, by learning, by making them and learning from them.
Yeah.
So, but also both industries are so, how do you say it? They're so personable that you really can't make a mistake in the service of it, because it's so mistake one mistake can throw off a whole bunch of series of things, like a bad haircut
Yep.
at the front, too short. You have very short bangs. I mean, so mistakes can happen 0.0001% of the time. You know, um, spelling someone's name wrong, simple. Getting somebody's address number, uh, missing a digit, simple. Those are easy fixable. But the main course has to be mistake proof. And that's what I communicate with them. So that will give you a peak performance by checking and triple checking and quadruple checking, to make sure everything is done right, and making sure you have all the information from the clients as well. Because if a client comes for taxes and they just hand you things and you don't ask, then it's the tax person's job to ask exactly what they need in order to complete the return, with precision. And especially also doing hair. If you want a haircut, just, oh, give me a haircut. Okay, well, what kind? What what's your daily life like? There's a series of questions that you have to ask, to make sure that they're satisfied with the haircut,
Yeah.
or service period. So um, communication is a key factor, on both industries, and for peak performance.
Yeah. Well, and I imagine too that at least the work that I do, a lot of my clients say they know what they want, but they don't really know what they want fully. There's a lot of things that need to happen to get them to the end goal, but in terms of the roadmap to getting there, they don't know the best path forward or where to focus. And but in particular, the haircut example, like you want to make sure you're really clear on what you're delivering for that service because it's going to be very visual. They're going to live with that thing for a while. And with taxes too, right? Like it's very personal to deal with financial matters and to
Mhm.
share that and build trust. And I imagine a lot of business owners, when they're new or even they're further along, they might experience some shame or embarrassment or have discomfort on sharing their financial situation. And so
Mhm.
how you show up and having that emotional intelligence, is that emotional IQ and the service delivery of it, that's where you need to be flawless. Like Janine said, like small mistakes and like the easy things we can learn from, making a mistake on a name for a contract that we can edit quickly, making a small mistake on a formatting thing for an email, not the end of the world, but how you show up and service your clients and how you own and take responsibility for any mistakes that you make. Really, really important. And I agree. When you screw up a service, so for example, it took me forever to find a manicurist I like. And I'm telling you, I've been through 10 to 12 of them, and they're expensive, especially when you're doing specific types of manicures.
Mhm.
And when you finally find that person and then they leave, so I had one that was great and then she moved away and then I had to go back and search for it. It's like dating. And that's like a very obvious, like immediate, you know, if it's going to be a good fit or not, because you'll see the like physical experience of that. But for business things like taxes and, you know, longer term services that have really significant impacts and you can't see the result right away,
Right.
that's so important to our customer experience in these service industries, for consulting, for coaching, for doing tax services, anything that's going to have massive impacts. Your customer serious experience needs to be really dialed in. And like I'm mixing the words serious. It needs to be serious. You need to take it seriously. And that means communication, delegation, and training your staff is super important. I wanted to ask you kind of a follow up on that. What have you done based on your peak performance and what you've done with your staff and your employees? How have you optimized your customer experience from that?
Well, Holly Jean Jackson. That's how. I mean,
Well, thanks, Janine. Thank you.
sometimes you don't know what you don't know. How I've consulted with Holly Jean Jackson. That's how. On getting some standard, what they call SOP, standard operating procedures, um, in place to make sure everybody's on track, to keep track of everybody, right? And that just helps to optimize because you can't be in all places at all times. And it gives a clear picture of what everyone needs to be doing and when they need to be doing it, and giving uh, a, I guess, a roadmap, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Of
so, kind of like, well, to be more specific to what Janine's alluding to, we found some things that she's doing in her business that are very repeatable and easy, that some of it we can even in the future automate. But at the very like simplest way, we can have specific templates that anybody on her team, and even if there's turnover, future people can just pick up this standard operating procedure and these templates and continue the work so that Janine can stay in her zone of genius, which is really the strategies, the tax saving things, the retirement, working with the clients, making sure that they feel supported, seen, and heard. And her staff has the tools and the steps and the templates so they can be efficient and hit their KPIs and focus on what matters, the client experience, and delivering that top notch service.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
because you have to think about the top um, businesses. A lot of things are repeatable and automated. Like McDonald's is all over the world. Everybody knows their name, their brand, and they know when they walk in, they all look the same.
Unless you go to a different country, it's similar but different.
It's
But I
similar,
will
but
tell you, I don't really eat at McDonald's, but it is kind of entertaining. Some of my friends that I travel with, when we go to different countries, they're like, we have to go to the McDonald's here because there's this specific thing that's different. I'm like, okay, cool, sure, you enjoy
yeah.
that. But yes, the big companies that are like Disney's of the world, the Starbucks of the world, like loudly sipping Starbucks. You can expect a specific customer experience. Even one great example is Chick-fil-A. They have specific,
Chick-fil-A.
right? Right. They're closed on Sundays. We know this because they respect their employees' time off, and it's part of their mission to give them a day of rest. But also, they have specific statements that they make to every customer. It's my pleasure. Wouldn't it be nice to hear from somebody when they give you something? It's my pleasure. Like, how nice is that? It's delightful. Yeah. Simple, tiny little things like that make a massive impact on your customers and build trust so that no matter where in the world they're traveling, if you're in, a physical store or a physical location, they're having the same experience and they're being treated the same way, which is really important.
Yes.
Now we're going to pivot. We're about to talk about your favorite thing. Janine, are you ready to talk about revenue and money?
Revenue and money, my favorite thing. Yes.
All right. My first question is, when have you left money on the table in your business and what did you do to fix it?
When have I left money on the table? Well, quite recently, someone contacted me. I contacted them back about they wanted accounting services for their company that they were starting here in Ohio. And I didn't follow up. So that was money on the table. But once I noticed, because I was in the busy season, once I noticed I didn't follow up, I sent another email, requesting the information that I had sent to them prior, because I requested pre-information for them to give me so I can give them an exact quote. And so, yeah, I left money on the table. I followed up, but I'm waiting to hear back.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great example. And thanks for being vulnerable to share that because we've all done it. Like, I'm sorry, if you're in business, even if you have a follow-up formula, even if you have SOPs, even if you have automation, there are moments where things break or we let things fall through the cracks. But here's the good news. Even when we mess up, when we take responsibility for that and we follow up, even if it's been later, it's been months, it's even been years for some people, people are pretty forgiving. And then if you are consistent after that and you can rebuild the trust, you can actually get that money back. You can get that person on board. And I have several examples of working with clients where I'll do a quick evaluation of their sales process and like their sales templates. And I'm like, the templates you're using, if we fix that alone, your sales conversion is going to go up 20 to 50%. And then if we add in three new methods of communication and outreach to that person you're trying to close, we're also going to increase your conversion by another 10 to 15%. And it's just these simple things that are low hanging fruit that you can't see because they're blind spots and you're so overwhelmed and busy with keeping the lights on. And like you said, in busy season, it's hard to keep the follow-up formula when you have new prospects and you're trying to create that really amazing client experience. So for folks who are listening, having that follow-up formula, having the team, having your scalability options in place so that when you're in busy season, you can bring more people on board to help you so you don't let things fall through the cracks. Super, super important.
Yeah.
My next question is, what is the next shiny object you're interested to turn into a new revenue stream?
That's a good shiny object. Let's see. I don't know.
Wow. You're the first person on here that doesn't know.
I'm stumped. I don't know if it's a shiny object. I think I just want to, for now, focus on what I have in place and making sure that's super, super, super duper Chick-fil-A-ish.
Yeah. So since Janina is the client and we work together, I would say what we're trying to do with her is like she just said, she's very focused, especially, and I would say this of most people that are in the financial industry, they are in some ways better set up for success because they're not as likely to chase shiny objects because they look at the numbers, right? And they want to look at the KPIs. So they're more obsessed with KPIs than other business owners that are in different industries. And so they want to repeat what's successful already instead of chasing the next shiny object. So what we're focusing on right now is making sure that the deliverability of the existing services that she's offering that are already successful are more scalable and creating the best experience. But also, I would say Janine is also a speaker. And so I would think the new shiny object we're trying to monetize and
Okay,
create a new
okay,
revenue
okay.
stream is
All right.
speaking.
Is it speaking? Yes. Yes. Okay.
You
So
want to
that's
share a
that.
little bit about that?
Yeah, so I started my speaker journey um this year. No, last year.
Last year.
Last year. And I just felt like I keep getting questions. People call me for questions. And from Google. They read my reviews. My reviews are so emotional, and I guess people really resonate with that, and they connect with the reviews. So they call me, and I get these questions I'm getting. It's like, okay, well, there's a break in the system where people aren't getting the correct information. And I felt it's my duty to speak to entrepreneurs since I've been in their shoes for many years, um, about how to go about getting money and having a great relationship with making money and being okay with making money. A lot of people like to downplay you or like to um, judge you because you want to make money, and it's okay to make money. It's okay to want to make money and a lot of it. So that's my mission, is just to create a community of people who like making money, who want to make a lot of money, who want to do it well, give back to people, and, stay humble. You know, I'll
Yeah.
sleep on the floor in somebody's house if I'm visiting, if need be, on the couch. I don't have to have a fancy Ritz Carlton thing, even if I have a whole bunch of money. It's still I like the personability and the relationships. That's what I like the most, is the relationships, because they can take you further.
Yeah.
And I one time I vetted a client for like 2 or 3 years. I just reached out each time. You ready for me to do your taxes? You ready? Well, how you doing? Okay. It's about 3 years. And then one day he called me and was like, okay, I'm ready. Okay, let's go. So I know it doesn't matter how long it takes, because I know worthwhile relationships take time anyway.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good reminder. The relationship we have with money is very important, and relationships we have in our community with prospects, with people, with our community is really important. And it is a long game, y'all. There are people that I have known before I started my business. We did different consulting ventures when I was working in corporate America, that they see my content on LinkedIn. They're like, I want to work with you. So it could be a decade of follow-up formula with somebody, and then they
right.
finally say yes.
Yeah.
So be consistent, be diligent, and your message is important. Staying humble, but having a healthy relationship with money is also really important. All right. We are having a great interview here. We're going to do 2 quick rapid fire questions and wrap
Okay.
this up. All right, Janine, what's the best one piece of advice you would share with others today?
The best one piece of an advice. being in proximity with someone who knows what you're trying to know, best thing. Being around people who uplift you, the best thing. Really understanding what it is that you want to serve for other people, to other people, what your purpose is. No, let me back all that. Knowing what your purpose is in life.
Beautiful.
Get that down and everything else will follow.
There you go. Words of wisdom. And Janine, what's the legacy that you wish to leave behind?
Well, I am a quintillionaire. And what that is a community of people who like making money, who like giving back, and who like being humble. My legacy is for people to love, understand, and know taxes. Because I love taxes. Like I could talk about that all day. I could talk about hair all day, makeup, beauty, everything, cosmetology all day. I could do that. But just having an understanding of money, why you need it, because money equals freedom. A lot of people think, oh, the love of money is evil. No, there's a whole other few sentences past that sentence that people miss. Money is freedom. Money is essential, just like air and water. Taxes save your life. They are the linchpin to your success. And understanding a little bit about it will help you in the long run.
Beautiful. I love it. Love your taxes. Learn to love it. Love your money. If you want to learn more about that, you should visit Janine. I will have all of her website, social media links, and contact information in the show notes and the YouTube link notes. Be sure to check her stuff out. She's wonderful. She's great with money. So if you're having money fears, money struggles, make sure you reach out to Janine. Thank you so much, Janine.
Thank you for having me. This went so quick. It was like 5 seconds ago we started or something. Oh my gosh. That's what
happens when you're having good conversation and answering intriguing questions, right?
Yes. Most necessary questions too that people need to know.
Yeah.
And it's best for them.
Absolutely. To our listeners, hope this was really valuable, gave you some intriguing things to think about. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining the show today. I hope you were inspired. More importantly, I hope you take action. If the show inspired you, I ask that you subscribe and share it with your network. Let's spread inspiration together today.